And there we go. I've been muted that entire time. Hi, guys. I'm Rich Slaton. In case you didn't know, I'm producing this by myself from my house. So it's all me, and it's all me, all you, all of us together. This is a special set of showcase matches featuring some of your favorite Clash Royale League players in the typical Team CRL format. We're going to have a good time today. I'm doing this all from my home office, so it's if there's a couple bumps in the road, hang with us, but we're going to have some great games, and that's going to be the most important fun. Joining us today on voice, my good friend, your good friend, a CRL player, an excellent analyst, Trainer Dippets is on the line. George, are you there?
Oh, what's up, everyone?
Hey, there we go. All right, so we did get the audio up and running. I'm very excited for today's matches. Again, as I said, there's going to be 3 matches in total, 4 teams playing in a little mini bracket for a prize pool of $200, half of that coming from me, half of that coming from your friend Clash with Ash. So let's go ahead and just get right into the action. We're going to start looking at our rosters here as we get things queued up. First up, it's going to be Team Archers is one of our 2 squads for the day. Flash, Cody Go, Lien-tsai, and Tommy. And if you've paid attention to the roster rumors, this looks suspiciously like the Dignitas roster. And on the other side of that, for our opening match today, it's going to be Team Ding Dong. Ding Dong, if you are into the current Clash Royale memes on Twitter, this has certainly been one. So we'll see if Team Ding Dong can bring the heat today, or if we will all be saying Ding Dong is dead on overall on our chat. Dip, tell me about what you think about these 2 teams. Let's go ahead back and start with Team Archers here. What are your thoughts on this lineup?
Well, Team BK boys are like pretty good, especially in 2v2. Like they have Belican and Espy and Thunder. All 3 of them are super good. Bale, a really strong one player right now. So, yeah, all around a pretty good team. And then
on the other side,
yeah, and then what was the other team's name again?
the other team is Team Archers: Flash,
Hey,
Código, Lien-tsai, and Tommy.
Yeah, well, like you said, the possible Dignitas roster, and of course a CRL team has to be pretty good. But Código proved to to be one of the best TVT players in the world from no tilt, and then just Linz, Tommy, both really good one players. So yeah, should be a really good match.
Tornado is, by the way, going to be the ban for this entire 2v2 set. We're just waiting for game number 1 to get started. It's going to be 2v2 to open things off, of course, and the 2v2 lineups are going to be Flash and Código for Team Archers, and Thunderstruck and SB for your other side. So it's going to be an interesting matchup today, of course. Let's go ahead and bring myself back up here to meet some interesting matchups, of course. Again, we're producing this all from home with a small little team, so if we have a couple delays here and there, please don't please don't worry about it. We're just waiting on Código to be ready for our opening game. And nope, request is still not up. Let's get our request up and get things going. This is the challenge of running a small team here. But I promise you, people will play Clash Royale, and in case you were curious about who's playing, there you go. There are your lineups. Team Archers: Flash, Código, Lien-tsai, and Tommy. Of course, Lien-tsai, who was an integral part of Cream in this last summer, and then, of course, Tommy, who was a big part of Tribe for 3 Clash Royale League seasons. And here we go. Looks like we are going to be getting game number 1 up in just one moment. Let's go ahead, waiting on our last player to queue in, and we will be ready to rock as soon as that last player is ready to go. Everyone's playing from their home internet, and I don't know if your home internet's any good. I know. Oh, here we go. All right. Let's go ahead and jump on in to game number 1 of 2v2. Flash, Código, top of your screen. SB and Thunderstruck at the bottom. And as a reminder, the bans are Tornado. Tornado was banned from both teams the entire way through this 2v2 set. Now, these teams didn't have a lot of notice to prep for each other, Dip. When you're prepping for another team late notice, like how much does that change your analysis going in?
I feel like for 2v2, they probably didn't want to do much analysis. Probably just ban Tornado and run a comfort deck. And yeah, honestly, Código it's pretty typical for him to use bait. I think we saw that a bunch in no tilt, and then this double RG deck, it looks pretty similar to the Immortals one that they beat China with. So yeah, they're just using 2 solid decks in these bans.
All right, working on a little bit of the audio mix just to get everything, all the levels nice and clean here. So, interesting combination from Flash and Código. You have Royal Giant, Goblin Barrel, and Hog Rider. So, a little bit of everything mixed in. Again, the stakes here are pretty low. This is that they are playing for a winner-take-all $200 prize pool. Half of that from me, half of that from your buddy Clash with Ash. But, there's no big championship on the line, so I expect these teams to kind of go out, take some big swings, maybe do some stuff that they think might work but don't know will work. And that could be some of the value in in participating in a sort of more casual event like this one. So here's a question for you, Dip. Is there anything in 2v2 that you're looking at like that, where you're like, I think this could work, but it needs a lot more testing against real competition before I can feel comfortable with it?
Well, at the moment, there's just like how to fit Firecracker, and because it's a newer card, and I think people are starting to figure it out that it's very good in RG because, as most people know, it just straight up activates King Tower in 2v2 if it just shoots your tower. So you pretty much can only use it in RG because it's the only deck that doesn't really matter if you activate King or not. And then Bait is just always a deck that's fun to use in 2v2 because it revolves like so much about communication, and yeah, so I feel like they're both in their fair bit of testing.
Okay. That makes sense. Here we go. Goblin Barrel left-hand lane, final 22 seconds. Flash and Cody go out to a pretty solid lead here, and it's going to be real hard for Thunderstruck and SB for Team Ding Dong to try to get back in here at all. And there we go. Goblin Barrel left-hand lane. Final few seconds. Log not available in cycle. Tower down. And there you go. Game number 1 in the books. It's Flash and Cody Go taking it down. Dip, your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I think, I think they definitely could have defended a bit better, the Team Ding Dong, but for the most part, Cody Go and Flash played really, really good together, and I think. Oh, okay. Well, now that I'm looking at their deck again, it's the one deck not having a small spell. Having Earthquake, a lot of the times when you have the Earthquake deck, it usually also has like a Snowball in it if the other deck has Log. And that's, I think, kind of what killed it for them. Only having one small spell makes it super, super hard to just defend a deck like this.
And there you go. There are your stats, courtesy of our friends at Stats Royale. I'm going to try to clean up the presentation there just a little bit, but you get the basic idea. SB and Thunderstruck falling to Flash and Cody Go in the 2v2. Game number 2 on its way here in just a moment. And if you're just joining us, hey, I'm Rich Slaton. Please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel so I can bring you more fun stuff like this whenever I get a chance. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2 of our 2v2 set. Flash and Cody Go of Archers up by 1. So going Lava Hound this time is the Ding Dong squad, Thunderstruck and SB. Of course, Thunderstruck was your teammate at Energy. What's it like having a Scotsman who you with a funky accent sharing your home?
Thunder was a great teammate. I think one of the fun things, especially because I played 2v2 with him a little bit, there's like not much, but there's definitely a couple times where I had no clue what he was saying.
Put the fireball over that lad, and you're like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me to do.
Yeah, Thunder's a good guy, but yeah, sometimes his accent gets a little thick, especially in like the heat of the moment when you're just yelling stuff at each other.
Sure.
Things get a little funky.
So Hog Barrel for Cody Go and Flash, Thunderstruck and SB running with Lava Loon with Rage.
Yeah, in Lava, it's pretty typical to run Rage. It helps with Cycle a lot, and you can just spam a lot of cards behind it that are hard to deal with, especially if you don't have too many air counters, then you just Rage them all, and yeah, it works. It even works well just without Balloon. Just Lava with Rage in general is just a super strong deck.
Arrows right-hand side used to take care of the Goblin Barrel, although there we go. Mini P.E.K.K.A. does stop the Giant Skeleton at the last second. Inferno Dragon going opposite direction, but Dark Goblin takes care of that, and then now you have Hog Rider again, so 2 times in a row. All-Star, the Archers squad, Cody Go and Flash going with a Hog Rider construction, of course, a very different look here. This one so far feeling like a 2v2 version, I mean, unless we're seeing spells here in those final 4 cards. You know, we have Giant Skeleton, Hog, 2 Barrels, and Mega Knight. Very curious to see if they are actually running spells as those final cards, or if they are, there we go. So it is going to be Poison. I was wondering if they were going to go some weird 2v2 Hog Rider version of the little Chen deck, potentially.
I'm pretty sure it's the same deck. It's still, I think they ran the same thing back. I think that Flash has 1 spell and RG, and then Cody Go's last card is probably a small spell.
Well, this is just 2v2 dominance so far. Rage on defense here from Thunder and SB. Final 15 seconds. And that Lava's going to pop Fireball Zap in to take the Musketeer off the board. 8 seconds left. That should be enough, but I don't know if they can actually get on tower now with that Goblin Gang in. Oh my word, no spell available to get it done. And look at that, by 167 HP. Flash and Cody Go close out Thunder and SB. So 1v1 coming up next. 2v2 fairly quickly goes the way of our of Team Archers, of the squad that is not quite Dignitas, but, you know, looks very, very similar. So we'll have stats for you in just a moment. Archers do win set number 1. Very excited for our 1v1 set. Hi, guys. If you're just joining us, I'm Rich Slaton from Clash Royale League. This is a casual 4-team bracket winner-take-all, $200 on the line. Half of that from me, half of that from our friend Clash with Ash. And we're just here to have some fun while everyone's hunkered down at home and bringing you hopefully a little bit of great Clash Royale in the process. Of course, right now, as you can see, we're looking at Team Archers versus Team Ding Dong. Team Archers, of course, I'll go ahead and throw you guys the roster here for just a moment. There's what you're looking at for Team Archers, especially those of you playing from our Latin American friends. You might be familiar with a lot of these players. And on the other side from that, of course, taking a look at our Team Ding Dong, which St. Bellican was supposed to be in, but today is his birthday, so birthday plans superseded, and he had to leave at the last minute. So happy birthday to Belly. Ding Dong operating with just 4 players this time around. So unfortunate for those guys to be a little bit short-handed, but they are still going to be having a good time. We're moving into 1v1 here in just a second. There are going to be no bans for 1v1. We're going to be going with a general Clash Royale League format. So that was a pretty dominant performance there by our Team Archers. Let me go ahead and bring you that roster back up one more time. Fairly dominant performance. And here we go. We do have our stats, courtesy of our friends at Stats Royale. Let's go ahead and slide those on in there for you. And I'm going to go, can I adjust that just a little bit? Oh, here we go. We're jumping into our 1v1 set. So let's go ahead and queue up our 1v1, and let's go slide on into it. It's going to be Lien-tsai facing off against Bale in the 1v1. Lien-tsai top of your screen, Bale at the bottom. And it's going to update that score there for you. Boom. As you can see, 2-0 for Archers in the opening game. Let me go ahead and throw you one of these one more time. Hi, everybody. I'm Rich Slaton. If you're just joining us, this is a showcase, an all-star showcase exhibition, our first match of the day. All right. Winner of this will go on to face the winner of Team Queso against Radaking. Radaking will have Surgical Goblin, Canario, So King, and Javi 14. So that'll be a fun one. And right now, looking all Team Archers at the moment. Lien-tsai going Royal Hogs Magic Archer with Mega Knight. What do you think, Dip? Should Magic Archer be on the chopping block? Should it be changed? And if so, what change should there be?
Yeah, I think it 100% should. Like, I saw Ropan make a point that it has, like, a similar, like, win percentage as, like, Baby Dragon stuff and Ewiz. But I think it was Ewiz. But, I think the main problem with Magic Archer is that, like, how game-changing it could be, and it can just be a card where if you don't have the correct answers for it, like, there's almost, like, nothing you can do, like, in a matchup, or in the matchup. And it's also almost like a win condition. Like, you saw, like, Surgical Goblin, for example, at World Finals. Like, if he didn't have Magic Archer, he obviously wouldn't have got that 1 HP win, like, at that, like, the clutch snipe at the end with a Magic Archer. And it's just situations like that that I think make it a little too strong, and it just gets so much value if you don't have the right answers to deal with it.
Sure, that's something people believe in. So then, what's the change? If you're saying you want to change for that card, what do you do? What do you do to make that card in your thought process more equitable or more sensible?
Maybe like less damage to the tower, shoots a bit slower, just less or maybe just less damage in general. I think any of those could be a pretty good change, but I just hope they do the right thing at the end of the day, just for the state of the game.
Well, we'll see how that one goes. At the moment, Lien-tsai currently falling behind now. Bale, if you might not know Bale too well, Bale is a big all-star in the Orange Crown League over in Spain, produced by LVP. He's been fantastic over there, I think winning 3 or 4 MVPs over the course of the first 9 weeks of the season. And right now going minor Mega Knight wall breakers and having some good success. Split wall breakers at the bridge one more time, and not going to connect. Magic Archer does do a decent job with those wall breakers when you get it down in the right spot. Here we go. Earthquake Cycle from Lien-tsai. Hitting 10 Elixir ahead. Decides to go ahead and get a little bit of chip damage. So here we go. Sudden Death Overtime. Lien-tsai in the lead by about 150 HP. Mega Knight from Mega Knight on the right-hand side. And here we go, a pretty nasty Miner wall breakers push, and look at that. Magic Archer goes to the back, but Ewiz comes out to the front. Lien-tsai having to spend a ton to defend that, but will have a fairly healthy counter push going the opposite direction. But can he stop this mini-peck on the right-hand side? One mini-peck shot gets in, 2 shots get in, and a Musketeer shot. Bale roars into a big lead, 429 on the right-hand side. Royal Hogs opposite direction met by the Mega Knight. Now Magic Archer, and that's what you're talking about right there. First Magic Archer will go down, Miner to help. Bale now trying to go opposite direction. This looks like it'll be where the game takes place, folks, on the right-hand side. Bale, of course, might keep pressuring on that left-hand side. Final minute of sudden death overtime. Second Musketeer down. Those two should be easily dealt with. Barb Barrel comes in with some Princess Tower support. Keep in mind, folks, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen with that scoreboard currently, Team Archers in a commanding lead. Unable to get much on the left-hand side. All right, final 45 seconds, Dip. What do you do if you're Lien-tsai to try to steal this game away from Bale?
Well, if I'm Lens, I'm just trying to drop as many cards into that lane as I can, knowing that his only like tower damage is just Miner and Snowball. I'm just gonna try to defend my heart out. Hopefully, like let him just try to keep overcommitting, and then you can get a big push in. Honestly, like that's exactly what he's doing, and it might work here.
All right, here we go. In hard on the right-hand side. Royal Hogs in. Magic Archer trying to support 183. Lien-tsai just has to defend this push, and that could be the win. But the wall breaker escapes. Miner gets in. Bale takes it. 122 HP on the right-hand side. Oh, my word. Bale takes it. Wow. There you go. That gets an official Rich Slaton. Wow. Unbelievable final finish. And that's what you were talking about, Dip. That was exactly what you were saying, was just trying to set up well enough, defend, and then get one from Lien-tsai. But Bale able to sneak through with the wall breakers there at the end and get enough damage to keep this one and take it back.
Yeah, honestly, I think that was like Lens played it really well at the end, and then he kind of just threw it all away by playing a Barb Barrel and Magic Archer at the bridge. He kind of just threw away 6 Elixir and let him build up a huge counter push. And yeah, all he had to do there was just be patient, Earthquake again, and he was fine. And in a situation like that, you don't even really need to Magic Archer at the bridge, because almost like every single time like they see it coming, especially in triple elixir, they always have a card to get down to tank for it.
Well, we will see if we're going to be getting game number 2 up here in just a moment, but nice opening win there by Bale to keep his squad in the mix. We're waiting on some stats from Stats Royale, but we'll see. We might have to just jump into the game and bring those to you later, guys. Hi, if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit subscribe. I'll throw the link there in the chat. And shout out to everyone in the chat, by the way, right now. We got some fun ones in there. Of course, our esports Royale team is in there. Your good friend Clash with Ash I saw in the chat. Hey, everybody, how you doing? This is a fun showcase match of CRL talent. First match, of course, Archers, as you can see top of your screen. Ding Dong, a very fun name at the bottom. And Bale currently up 1 going into our second game here. 1 win away from sending us to a King of the Hill, which would be a whole lot of fun. Of course, as I mentioned before, Ding Dong operating -1 player. St. Bellican had to dip out last second because of his birthday. Happy birthday, Belly. But right now we have some great Clash Royale in front of us, and it's minor Ewiz for Lien-tsai so far. You know, it seems like stab goblins have, I guess you just call them regular goblins, most people, I guess, refer to them as stab goblins, have found a bit of a place lately in the meta. Dip, you know, you're big into analysis. What do you think's behind that? Why are goblins suddenly this year in 2020 part of competitive Clash Royale?
Because right now Miner is a super strong card, and Graveyard's also really good, and Miner just does a really good job against both those. It does, or Goblins does a really good job against both those. It does good against Mini P.E.K.K.A, as you see right here, and especially in a deck like with Wall Breakers, it's just a good another log bait deck, or all log bait card. I mean.
So you saw that, a really tricky move there from Lien-tsai trying to go Miner to the back to open things up for the Mini P.E.K.K.A, but as my co-host here, Trainer Dip, mentioned, the Goblins come down, pick up the Mini P.E.K.K.A, so Lien-tsai going for a slick move, Bale 1 step ahead. And again, Bale really has been great in the Orange Crown League. And if you're itching for more competitive Clash Royale, there are offerings all over the world right now. This is, I think, 2020. Current quarantines notwithstanding, has a lot of potential to be a great year for Clash Royale esports. What's going on in Spain right now is brilliant. There's some excellent tournaments in Brazil. My friends Codigo and Manu from the Spanish CRL casters, what they've been doing with No Tilt, with the Worlds, both with the World Finals coming up next weekend, going to be China versus South Korea, and they have more No Tilt stuff coming soon, and then, of course, some expectations of some really exciting stuff in the world of Clash Royale esports coming later this spring. Here we go, Mega Knight getting across the bridge, Musketeer in the back, taken care of by the Poison. Mini P.E.K.K.A gets the Giant off the board. Mega Knight going to do a good job of just kind of winning the bridge battle, keeping it up high. This push not going to do much of anything. And here we go. Miner wall breakers left-hand side. Giant going into that right-hand side. Wall breakers do not connect. And that's one of the things about Miner wall breakers, Dip. Is, tell me what you think about it. It seems like unless you have a perfectly ideal situation, you're almost always spending more elixir to defend than they're spending to attack.
Yeah, a lot of the times it's kind of just you not allowing them to build up their big pushes by always pressuring other lane and being able to get these like little cheap annoying pushes in, because it just doesn't allow them to do anything they want and build up like their proper push, which is like how the deck works mainly.
There you go. Wall breakers connect left hand side. You see Lien-tsai just opting to eat a lot of this damage. Just decided to min-max a little bit here, and rather than spend and lose money on that left-hand side to try to defend, instead going right-hand lane and trying to build up a big push. He's not that far behind, of course, has damage on both sides. Poison down to get the Musketeer off the backhand. This one, Lien-tsai has to defend, a little pressure, but that's 2 for 2, so that works out fine for the Archers player. And now a second Giant down in front of the Mini P.E.K.K.A and Mega Knight. Ewiz as well. Lien-tsai building up a big push on the right-hand side. Solid snowball by Bale. Miner goes into the Musketeer. Exactly what you would think would happen to the situation, but still too much in defense for Bale. And Lien-tsai comes out of all of that somehow empty-handed. Absolutely brutal. So there you go. Log zap left-hand side. Still pretty far behind. Final 50 seconds of regulation time. And Lien-tsai has a lot of ground to make up if he does not want this to be a 2-0 sweep for Bale. Miner goes to the back this time, does not pull the Mini P.E.K.K.A or the Mega Knight. So both of those get up at the top of that push. Lien-tsai gets a nice little chunk of damage, though, with the Poison, and now only less than 100 HP down on the right-hand side, and forcing this battle to take place on that side. Mega Knight, Mini P.E.K.K.A, Musketeer just loading up on the right-hand side is Bale. Really abandoning that left-hand side where he currently has the lead, and looks like it might pay off for him. Big Mega Knight leap, left-hand side, wall breakers going in, and they will connect as well. Miner needs one more shot. That is it. Bale takes the 2-0. The 2-0 for Bale. What a brilliant performance. Really did a great job of stretching Lien-tsai. And there you go. Suddenly it's Bale coming out in the lead, coming out with the win in our second set, and what looked like it could be potentially a rout for Team Archers suddenly is all tied up 1-1. Dip, give me your thoughts on that matchup. That was a really interesting one.
Honestly, really well played by Bale. I think Lens did a really good job at the end. I think one like really like main mistake from Lens was when he was trying to build up a big giant push and he got 2 giants down. Bale did a good job at putting his wall breakers in the left lane. I wasn't paying attention perfectly to the cycle. I didn't know if Bale or if Lens had zap in the cycle, but then right as Lens logged the left, then he just played Goblin's Mini P.E.K.K.A on the second giant and just shredded both giants by baiting at the log so that he couldn't kill the goblins. So it was well played by Bale, especially if he knew that if he didn't have zap in hand, and if he only had log, then that's a very smart play. And honestly, relatively not the best play by Lens because he just threw so much elixir into Bale's just like super tanky defense with the Mega Knight, Musketeer, Mini P.E.K.K.A goblins and all that.
Here we go as we're getting ready for King of the Hill. Your stats courtesy of our friends at Stats Royale, and you can see what my friend Trainer Dip is talking about. Bale just able to really keep pressure on against Lien-tsai the entire way through and making things really, really difficult. So Ding Dong wins set number 2, and Lien-tsai, you saw, was really trying to get those giant cycles there at the end, but they were just running into a mountain of DPS. And now we're going to be going into King of the Hill. Let me give you your King of the Hill lineups. And since it is only 3 players, you know which players they're going to be. For our team Ding Dong, which, by the way, is a fantastic name, it's going to be Thunderstruck, then SB, and then Bale. And on the other side, for Archers, it's going to be Tommy, Codigo, and then Lien-tsai as the third and final player. So we're going to go ahead and queue up the first game of King of the Hill right now. Of course, when this game is over, stick around. We still have 2 more matches to go. We're going to have our really fun matchup between Queso and Radiking, and then, of course, we are going to get into our final matchup, the winner of that versus the winner of this one. But first and foremost, we have King of the Hill. Here we go. Tommy for Archers, top of your screen. Thunderstruck at the bottom for Team Ding Dong. I will never get over how great that name is. And really excited to have all you guys here joining us. If you have a chance, go ahead and hit subscribe on my YouTube page. Ring the bell for notifications. We'll have more esports offerings here, of course, live content, as well as some other fun video content. And here we go. It's going to be Goblin Giant Sparky right-hand side against what looks to be Giant Miner for Tommy. And Ewiz gets in, but that's really late. Thunderstruck opening up the first minute with essentially a torrential downpour of damage on the right-hand side. And expecting this is probably the Earthquake variant dip. Why is Earthquake so popular in Goblin Giant Sparky now? It used to be all about the lightning.
Because especially in the meta like this, Bomb Tower's in right now. And then as well as it takes care of goblins. It also can slow things down to sometimes maybe even just give that Sparky like its last like annoying little hit. But yeah, it's mainly just to take care of Bomb Tower and just other buildings. And because with the Goblin Giant hitting air, with Firecracker getting so much value, I think deck also has the Ewa's version. It has more than enough to deal with air, especially if they have lava. You can pressure a lot other lane, and then you don't have to over defend with. So yeah, lightning was just it made it too difficult to build up the right pushes.
Well defended by Tommy on the left-hand side, but still fighting way from behind as we get into double elixir time. Thunderstruck cycles a zap on the right-hand lane. Tommy, the Nicaraguan ninja, as he was named in the first season of CRL North America, where he joined Tribe Gaming late in that season, has played 3 seasons with Tribe. Of course, we are expecting, given the Archers lineup that we're seeing, that he might be with a different team this upcoming 2020 year for Clash Royale League, and excited to see him once that kicks off. But right now, fighting from behind against the Red Bull MEO World Champion Thunderstruck.
So Fireball.
Very interesting choice here for the Fireball. 379 right-hand side, and now you can see a little bit of why Thunder was so comfortable splitting to that left-hand lane. Fireball going to be able to easily cycle out on that right-hand side when he wants to, but continuing to go just with Goblin Giant Sparky into this right-hand tower. And there you go, a little bit of Fireball value, 125. Just needs to defend pretty easily here, get one more Fireball down. And look at that. Take a look at the Firecracker from way downtown, taking care of business. And there you have it. It's Thunderstruck taking game number 1. And very, very well played by our friend Thunder. We're going to go ahead and see if we can get these stats up fairly quickly. Thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out. I'm Rich Slaton from CRL, and I am producing this thing all on my lonesome, quarantined in Van Nuys, California. And I believe we do already have our stats up, so let's take a look at these stats, courtesy of your friends at Stats Royale. If you are looking for your next chest, well, guess what? Stats Royale can tell you. They cracked the code. They will tell you what's coming up next. And we're going to have, let's see, it's going to be, boom, there we go, King of the Hill. Game number 1 goes to Thunderstruck of Ding Dong, and next up is going to be Codigo. But for a moment, let's take a look at these stats here. Anything stand out to you as interesting from that matchup? It seemed like it was pretty brutal for Tommy from top to bottom there, Dip.
Yeah, just with Sparky, Maypeka. Well, actually, no. I think Tommy definitely could have done a better job in that matchup. Just he got kind of just destroyed very early. He started with an EOS in the back, which probably wasn't the best play, first play, and then he also misclicked the skeletons in the beginning that got splashed by a Sparky. So a bit of like early mistakes from Tommy just kind of just spiraled downward from there.
So waiting up on our next game, it's going to be Thunderstruck versus Cody Go. So requests should be up here in just a moment. Cody Go, of course, had a really successful run through CRL Latin America, and then ended up joining CRL West just a little bit late in the spring season for 2019, and then finally came in. And it's been sort of an up and down run for Cream Esports. So expect to see Cody Go maybe not on that squad as time goes forward. We do believe that the squad you're looking at right now might be who he pairs up with for CRL West in 2020. So here we go. Magic Archers for both sides. Cody Go top of your screen. Thunderstruck at the bottom, and as you can see, it is one game in hand for Ding Dong. Magic Archer getting a little bit of value here on the mini P.E.K.K.A. You know, it's interesting, Dip. You're talking about how prevalent Bomb Tower is and how popular a lot of splashy cards are. It seems like Dark Prince is not in its most popular moment. There was a minute where Dark Prince was one of the most popular cards in the overall game, and then suddenly, at this point, it seems to have backed off a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's just mainly because Mini P.E.K.K.A. Mini P.E.K.K.A. became really strong, as well as also, yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it. Mini P.E.K.K.A. being really good kind of just hurt the card a lot, and it just doesn't cut it right now. It's like it's good for like tank metas, but in a meta like this where it's just all like chip decks almost, it isn't the best. It's not the best versus miners. It's not the best on offense just because of how easily it dies. So, and yeah, this is kind of like a very chippy and like fast-paced meta where it's not finding its spot.
I'm seeing some chat, something about Nightbot going wild. I'm not sure what Nightbot's doing, but if one of the mods wants to DM me and let me know what Nightbot is doing that's so nutty, I'll take a look at that when I get a chance to. Here we go. Dark Prince to the right-hand lane. Final minute of regulation, heading into double elixir time. And yes, for those of you asking in chat, joining me on voice is Trainer Dippets, CRL player formerly of Dignitas and Energy, and of course, fantastic analyst who gives some excellent insight on how some of this deck building works, and as you can hear, talking about why one card's prevalence leads to another one's demise in some cases. Here we go. Final 30 seconds approaching of regulation. It's been all Cody Go so far in game number 2. Royal Hogs in, Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Hunter. Not going to be enough to stop that from doing a ton of damage. So now within Earthquake range on the left-hand side. Magic Archer going right. Thunderstruck loading up with Royal Hogs. It's Hogs for Hogs in this game, but you know, looking at this matchup here, if you're taking which one would you rather have playing defense against Royal Hogs? Cody Go with the splash damage of the Mega Knight, the Dark Prince. A lot of options here for dealing with those piggies. We've seen that come out to huge success so far. So as we reach the final 5 seconds, you expected an Earthquake comes in. Cody Go gonna even things up for his side. Now Archers back on the board. Whew. That was a bit of a crazy one there. So there you have it. So far, it seems, correct me if I'm wrong, Dip, but so far it really seems like this has been matchup city today. It really has, like, I don't see anyone has had, it seems like everyone's had some pretty solid matchup advantages in the games that we've been watching.
Yeah, for the most part. There was that very first game with Bale versus Lien-tsai, but besides that, yeah, it's kind of just been pretty polarizing. But yeah, that matchup, it's just, if it's Hogs versus Hogs, the Mega Knight version should win. So, yeah.
Here we go. Let's take a look at those two decks from our buddies at Stats Royale, and there you go. Taking a look at the action, you can see it was the Mega Knight did a good job of controlling a couple of those big piggy pushes, but in the end, it was just a rough one. And coming up next, it's going to be Cody Go versus SB. Yeah, anything when you look at this matchup here, Dip, anything really stand out about it to you?
Well, I think Yeah, I don't know. Thunder, he can't. Every push that he does, Codillo can just. He doesn't even have to Mega Knight every time. Magic Archer does a good job. Dark Prince, Ewiz, Barb Barrel, even the Mega Minion for his Magic Archers at the bridge. Codillo just had every answer in the book pretty much for Thunder, and over time he's just gonna do a bit more damage and just ship him out.
Here we go, heading into our next game of King of the Hill. Things are all tied up 1-1, and it's going to be stepping in for Archers, or for Ding Dong, is going to be SB. You might know him just by the letters SB rather than SB. But SB will be stepping in for his side. SB with some CRL experience over in Clash Royale League Asia, which has now merged with China to become Clash Royale League East. That action, I believe, begins on April 4th. So again, if you're looking for some great Clash Royale esports, Clash Royale League East will be starting in April for their special season, the online season. Very excited for that to get started, and I'll be doing a roster preview here on this channel fairly soon. So go ahead, subscribe so you can check that one out. Here we go. So it's going to be minor wall breakers for Codigo. SB. So far, Magic Archer, Mini P.E.K.K.A. Hunter. Are we seeing more of the same out of the Ding Dong player here, Dip?
This matchup once again. No, this one can very easily go both ways because he has Earthquake and Log for goblins on offense, as well as he has all the defensive answers, I would say, for anything that Codigo can throw at him. So I think yes, if he gets through single elixir, he has a very good cycle and can easily just apply a lot of pressure and I think take this game. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Pig's left-hand side. SB getting all over that tower. Musketeer high to get the Magic Archer off the board, but still going to eat a ton of damage as we enter double elixir time. It's SB with a pretty solid lead. Just going to go ahead and take the one shot from the Magic Archer. Not worth spending an elixir on that one. Ahead by one elixir and a decent amount of HP is SB, but minor wall breakers go right-hand side just as he cycles his Magic Archer to the left. So SB eats a ton, gives up the lead. Codigo now ahead and starting to put the pressure on that right-hand side. Forces the log out on the right-hand side, so a little bit of bait there from Codigo as well. Magic Archer down in the back behind the Ice Golem, and here we go. This time perfectly defended, but a zap comes in. SB forced to spend a little extra, so now has 8 elixir going to the right-hand lane. Codigo plenty to defend, but cannot take care of both sides at once. And there you go, Mega Knight comes in. Royal Hogs get sloshed, and look at the way that Codigo took care of the Mini P.E.K.K.A. on the right-hand side. Brilliant play by the Archer's head-to-head star Codigo, and gets a Mega Knight leap on top of that. Can he get back around to a Mega Knight again? Yes, he does. Royal Hogs left-hand side, not going to touch these things. I feel like we're seeing a pretty big momentum swing right now, Dip, towards the Archer's player.
Yeah, I think SP's doing. He is not. Oh, well played by Codigo.
Oh, and that one sneaks through. Skeleton's log, both trying to get it done. Zap comes in. Codigo gets one more on tower, 275. Remember, no big spell in the deck for Codigo, so he still has to get on tower a little bit more to get this thing done. And Royal Hog's left-hand side going to create a lot of problems for him. Mega Knight down into the right-hand lane now. Codigo with a good opportunity, put up some significant damage. And there you go. What a nice inside, the number 3 spot for that miner, and that should be it. This should be within range for Codigo to finish things off unless he makes a massive defensive error here. And there you go. Mega Knight easily takes care of the piggies. Magic Archer trying to steal this one, but look at those high wall breakers. That was brilliant. Absolutely great play from Codigo in that moment. The high wall breakers to make sure that Magic Archer didn't get on tower and make things closer than he would be comfortable with. So, wow, really well played by Codigo. Dip, thoughts on those final few moments? It really seemed like SB had it pretty well locked down, and then suddenly it was Codigo with some brilliant plays to take it back from him.
Yeah, I think Codigo was applying his fair bit of pressure, but I think SP could have done a better job defending. I think he took a lot of unnecessary damage. Is what I would say. So I think SP could have done a bit better job of just not letting like little like annoying damage in. But overall, yeah, I think Kodigo played it well at the end. But once again, I think if SB tried to do a better job of defending, I think he could have been in a better situation. But also the zap from Kodigo helps way more than Snowball, just because he can take out skeletons whenever he can just minor wall breakers. He can't just play log skeletons. So yeah.
So a tough one there. It's going to be our match point for archers. Kodigo against Bale. So we'll see if Bale has the magic to steal this one back for his team. He's done it before, had some great performances for overall, as we've said, in the Orange Crown League. And here we go. Let's jump in to potentially our final game of this matchup. Kodigo, top of your screen. Bale at the bottom. Archers on match point here. Bale needs to win 2 in a row to keep his team in the running for that $200 prize. Thank you again to Clash with Ash for matching the prize pool I put up. Let me hopefully do a bunch more of these. We'll do some national teams versions. Very excited for the chance to bring you guys some fun little weekend esports adventures here in Clash Royale as we're all finding fun new ways to entertain ourselves. Here we go. Bale looking like it's going to be, oh boy, it's going to see the chat erupt when a deck that most people dislike appears. And Bale runs this one a lot. I really wonder if you've seen the same thing, Dip, but it feels like if you're prepping to go against Bale, that you should be prepping to go against this E-Golem, E-Drag healer deck.
I think Kodigo might have been 2 steps ahead of you here. Kodigo's running Bomb Tower Graveyard, I think, or Bar Putt Graveyard. So both I would say would be a fairly decent matchup here. So yeah, I think Kodigo did a good job at preparing for Bale.
We'll see, although I haven't seen Barb Hut in the Elixir Golem E-Drag construction. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's made its way around. It's just Barb Hut's pretty strong right now, and it kind of just leads to just a more annoying deck where if you have a Barb Hut down, and then you want to build a push in the other lane, it's really hard for them to push into a Barb Hut just because of how, especially with the Death Barbs now. Yeah, it just causes a lot of extra pressure.
Here we go, Graveyard left-hand lane, E-Drag in defense, but Mega Minion is down to tank for that Graveyard against the Princess Tower, 1103 left-hand side, so a nice chunk out from Kodigo. This deck does cycle fairly quickly, but now Kodigo with pressure in both sides, Barb Tower. High in the middle and a second E-Golem. This is where it gets annoying playing against Elixir Golem decks, is when that Elixir Golem begins to cycle over and over and over again. Baby Dragon doing work in both lanes right now. And now we'll see, is this the moment when Kodigo decides to pressure? And he does. Baby Dragon, Graveyard, right-hand lane, Barb Barrel trying to defend. Poison does get on the Magic Archer as well. This could be Kodigo putting Bale up all the way against the ropes, 551. So Kodigo with a good chance to go either lane right now. 1283 on his top left-hand tower. Bale playing for Clash in the Orange Crown League, trying to keep his team alive here. $200 on the line. Poison high, and look at that. Just letting the Baby Dragon do its damage on the left-hand side. And now both towers for Bale under 600 HP. And about to give up a few more. And this Barb Barrel Graveyard immediately down. And that E-Drag can stop a few of them, but we should get at least 1 or 2 Skelly hits in here. And I don't know if any skeletons touch their dip.
No, none.
Wow. So the Battle Healer Electro Dragon holding on, keeping Bale in the fight. Final minute and 15 seconds. Magic Archer does not get close enough for the geometry. Bomb Tower low. And at this point, Kodigo needs to play some really, really smart defense. It's tempting to go start pushing on offense right here, but a lot of damage coming in. Magic Archer gets on the Mega Minion, not on tower. Final 50 seconds. Poison down on defense, left-hand side, and Bale just doing everything he can to not let any more shots get in on that right-hand side, but unfortunately, poison in for Código, down to 76 HP. Código has to cycle back to 1 poison to finish this thing off. Will he choose to play defense or get the poison down? He gets the poison down and triple elixir, and there you go. Código takes down Bale, and what a brilliant run by the Archers representative, Código, with a great 2v2 performance, 2-0, and then coming out here in King of the Hill with a King of the Hill sweep. And there you go. Suddenly it's Archers moving on to our next round. Very brilliantly played by the former Cream representative. Let's go take a look at the stats from that game, courtesy of our friends at Stats Royale. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, if you want to know what your next chest is, go check out Stats Royale because they will tell you. So let's hold on for 1 second. We're going to get into our second match here in a moment. Going to go ahead first and reset some of our scoreboard stuff so we have it all sorted out. And, wow. Código. I mean, what are your thoughts on Código right now, Dip?
Well, honestly, like from his showing from no tilt and now from this, Código's clearly he's been putting in the work in the offseason, and I think he's gotten overlooked in the past in CRL, and I think he's tired of that, and I guess he's ready to prove to people that he can compete with the top dogs.
Yeah, well, he certainly has the skill set for it, and we just saw it put out here, so we're getting our lineups ready for our next match. Try, if you wouldn't mind giving me the lineups for either in the chat or in our DM for what the lineup is for Team Queso.
Team Queso is JP and Ruben for
That's going to be JP and Ruben for 2v2. All right, well, let me go ahead and clear off our scoreboards here, and we will get ourselves ready to rock for our next match. Winner of this, as I said before, will be facing off against the Team Archers, led by Código, that we just saw. So we're going to go ahead and get that one all queued up. And here we go. We're ready for 2v2. So let's go ahead and get that match ready to rock. And this is going to be a fun one. Let me go ahead and show you guys the lineups here. Team Queso, you know these guys, of course. Ruben, Coochi, Benny, and the recent returning golden-haired golden boy from Barcelona, Spain. I am JP, back with a Spanish side after spending some time in CRL Asia. Excited to see him making his Clash Royale League West debut coming up here in 2020. And across from them, that's Rataking. What is Rataking? Well, there you go. Surgical Goblin and Canario coming off of that CRL World Finals Championship. King, and of course, Javi 14 from SK Gaming. So a real all-star lineup here for us from Rataking. Both these sides pretty good, and I'm really excited for this 2v2. Ruben and JP going to be coming out against Surgical Goblin and Canario for 2v2. So the request is up. We'll be getting this game started in just a moment. Winner of this will face Archers in our final match. Very excited to see how that one plays out. And again, big shout out to Código for a really solid performance there in that King of the Hill. 5-0 overall on the day for Código. 2-0 in the 2v2 and a clean 3-0 sweep in King of the Hill. So here we go. 2v2 just about to start. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Team Queso's Ruben and I am JP. Top of your screen, it's going to be Rataking, Surgical Goblin, and Canario at the bottom. And of course, Surge and Canario have lots of experience as a 2v2 duo in the past. They've been successful, went on a 5-match run in their CRL West Championship campaign back in the spring season. And of course, continue to be great. Surgical has moved primarily into the 1v1 as of late. But of course, now with Igor finally on the team in full force, and after his great performance at the CRL World Finals, very curious to see what he's able to do overall. And taking a look at the ban cards here, Tornado banned by Rataking, and for Team Queso also Tornado. So only one ban the entire way through. And I'm looking at the 1v1 lineups. This will be a very, very fun 1v1. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, what I think about Queso is they always put like a lot of trust in their players. like obviously even though they have Ruben and JP on their team, like they trust everyone on their team to be able to win at all times. Because like where Queso like shines the most is they practice like their hearts out. So like they've clearly like they that's why they're playing this 2v2. I assume they play like hours of in-house 2s every single day, and Coochi is clearly he's doing really good on ladder as well. So Coochi's also in really good shape right now.
All right, so it's double hogs on both sides of the board for both of these teams. We'll see if they're able to break through on either side. Inferno Tower. What do you think of Inferno Tower being in the mix with how popular? I mean, it feels like in 2v2 you're going to face Lightning or Earthquake at this stage. But now we see both teams running Inferno Tower.
I guess they were both expecting each other to use lava. I'm assuming. So, yeah, a bit of a failed mind game on both ends there. And yeah, against Hog Earthquake, you definitely do not want Inferno Tower. So, yeah, I would say that Canario and Surge definitely got like the butt end of this matchup.
There you see a little bit of work on the right-hand side, down to 795. IMJP and Ruben doing a good job getting that tower within, not quite spell cycle range yet, but pretty darn close. Anything under 1,000 HP in 2v2 starts to get real precarious, especially when you have Poison, Earthquake, Log, and Snowball, as we've seen so far from Team Queso. And Hog Rider is going to connect. Massive connection on the right-hand side. Poison in. Game number 1. Gonna go to Team Queso. Go ahead, put it in the books. Team Queso taking game 1 of our 2v2 set. GG, well played. Dip, any thoughts on that one? Any surprises that you saw in that game?
Honestly, yeah, Liquid's decks, I would say, is what surprised me the most. Oh, and yeah, wait, yeah, so they must have just been really wanting to face lava or something, because yeah, this is I don't think we've ever seen this deck before, so yeah, it's a very interesting and unique deck from them. But Queso just going with the standard like just hog Earthquake freeze deck, and yeah, it worked out for them.
Here we go. Stats provided by our friends at Stats Royale, and as you can see, like as Dip was saying, looked like they were expecting to be against lava, but you know, it's an interesting question because you feel like you're going to be against lava when you have an inexperienced 2v2 duo, a duo that's not really well versed in playing together. But you know, you have to imagine that Ruben and IMGP have been putting a lot of time in together, getting ready for the upcoming 2020 Clash Royale League season.
Yeah, and they're both like historically pretty good 2v2 players. Like JP did pretty good in Asia, as well as Ruben, I think, was top 3 in win rate in 2v2 as well in West last season. So like they both have have everything together now. It's just a matter of how well they are together, and clearly from that first game they showed to be pretty good.
Well, that's also a big question. You know, I don't know if Surge and Canario are playing on voice or if they're anywhere near the same place, but there's a good chance that Ruben and JP are together in Spain. Not exactly sure. I know JP is from Barcelona. I don't know where Ruben's been holing up, but it's not impossible that they are sitting right next to each other, which certainly creates a difference in 2v2.
I'm almost positive that JP's at the house. I don't know about Ruben, because he's young, so I don't know if he's still in school or not. Oh, wait, no, actually, probably not. I think schools everywhere is canceled, so yeah, I think they're probably playing together.
Well, we will certainly see some results. Whether or not that's actually going to end up playing in their favor. But right now, we're going Hog Rider again. And then we've seen this, second time we've seen this today. Hog, Royal Giant, most likely double Goblin Barrels. So this one's been pretty popular so far today. Of course, you know, who knows what the meta will look like once we start CRL West season for 2020. A lot of potential changes coming in.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like that Queso is running like 2 meta decks, but just kind of like a 2v2 variant with Log in the one of them. Like the top one just looks like the regular Mega Knight Minor Wall Breakers deck, and then the bottom one's, I assume if the last card's Bomb Tower, then yeah, it's definitely just 2 meta decks. two meta wall breaker decks in 2v2 together.
And here we go, Miner to the back, and the wall breaker does connect. It's almost always shocking when in 2v2 wall breakers are really able to get on tower. But that's some of the spread and the chaos created by this deck by IMJP and Ruben. Miner to the back one more time. Zap high, so force to spend Zap and Log on those wall breakers. And Miner's out is going to town, and look at that, going with the Miner to the exact same position. One Miner out, another Miner in, wall breakers connect, tower down left-hand side. And Surgical Goblin and Canario way behind here with 21 seconds left. Can they get a Royal Giant on tower? Inferno Dragon or Inferno Tower down. Goblin Barrel in as well. Do they have a way to reset that tower? Zap comes in, gets the reset, but that's not going to be enough. It's going to be JP and Ruben taking a quick, clean 2v2 sweep to open things up. And got to be really excited for this Queso squad, and I believe that they are really, really happy about having JP in the mix. I mean, Team Queso, always so good at building talent. They've been consistent throughout all of Clash Royale League, consistent throughout all of Clash Royale, not just CRL, but Clash Royale overall competitively. What makes Team Queso so good at building teams and developing talent? You have any thoughts on that, Dip?
I think they just have, they have their players, they have a very, very good work ethic, and I think they push on their players really well. I think Fuyer does a great job. Alvaro knew what he was doing from the start, and I think together they just know how to build players and to just bring the best out of everyone, which is what they're doing now.
I mean, they are, in terms of building, not just building players, but having a development process. They definitely have one of the more in-depth development processes in Clash Royale overall. They actually have, most teams, the way they find players is very kind of all over the place. Like, hey, I might look at ladder a bit. I might see if someone did really well in one of Revel's tournaments. Shout out to Revel, who I believe I saw in chat earlier today. They kind of look for people who have these big moments. Team Queso has an internal development system where they actually host internal tournaments and recruit to Arena Casito, recruit to their academy program from those in-house tournaments. So they put on 1,000-person tournaments. You can win those and perform well in those, get into their academy, and be developed that way. And I was talking with Furrier of Team Queso, one of the team managers there for the entire run that they've had, and he was giving me some really good insight into their thought process. And it's one of the few teams. People ask me all the time, how do I get into CRL? How do I get into no-till? How do I get into these competitions? And I'm going to do a full video on that, actually, and if you want to see that, go ahead and subscribe to me on YouTube. Link is in the chat right now. I'm going to do a full video kind of breaking down some of these thought processes, but one of the ways, especially if you're a Spanish player, go ahead, they've also recruited players from outside of Spain as well, but Team Queso has a development process that's completely open. You can go to a Team Queso tournament, show how good you are, and get recruited for their academy team and work your way up through there, which is how they built Coochi, how they built Benihu, how they built Ruben, how they built their entire team, except unless they bring in like a superstar player from the outside. It's been a big part of the development process, so very, very cool, and be very curious to see if some other teams start applying a similar sort of development process for finding new up-and-coming talent.
Yeah, and even just looking at someone from CRL, people thought that Azilius, for example, was done and washed. People, a lot of people were saying that, and then he almost didn't even get a team. And then Queso gave him his last second chance, and they turned him back into one of the best players in the league. So yeah, I don't know what they do, but they really know how to make players good.
They're brilliant about it. Here we go. Coochi, top of your screen. Javi 14 at the bottom. Coochi's been around a very, very long time with Team Queso, and of course Javi. You might have, if you watched CRL Latin America, you saw him carry Vivo Keyed all the way to the World Finals, where he nearly was able to win it. Of course, Kiki and Gabo had a great 2v2 showing at CRL World Finals 2018, but Javi has been one of the best players in competitive for a long time. It's interesting, Dip. Javi isn't one of those guys who has a big ladder presence, things like that, but he's so good in competitive play. What do you think it is that makes Javi specifically so good at tournament standard play and so good in CRL?
I think he's just really calm. When he plays on stage, he doesn't make mistakes, and He kind of just sits there and just plays the game how he wants it to be played, and forces people to play. He controls the game when he plays for the most part. Like he always knows what's going on. Everything he does is calculated, and he's just always 2 steps ahead, I feel. And he's calm, which a lot of people aren't on the stage. So he just waits for people to make mistakes, and is able to capitalize off them really well.
That's a big one, is staying calm on stage. That's certainly not always easy to do, and we've seen some players who are great online struggle with the bright lights and the cameras. Javi's not been one of those guys. So Javi 14 getting Cannon Cart in the mix on both sides. Looks like it might be a mirror match here from these 2 players. Cannon Cart, people thought like with the buff it might pretty much only show up in Cannon Cart Graveyard, but we're starting to see it move around a little bit more than that overall in the meta here, Dip.
Yeah, Cannon Cart Graveyard's kind of like people aren't even really using that much. Cannon Cart really just found its way in just a lot of other decks. I would say Bridge Spam is definitely the main deck it's found its way into. Like people can like replace it and use it in a lot of decks and like try to make it work, but this is, I would say, like the one meta deck that Cannon Cart is like actually very good at.
Here we go, Cannon Cart, E-Wiz push, and that Fireball's going to clean up a lot of that. Very, very nice value Fireball for Javi 14. Cannon Cart still on its wheels with the E-Wiz in front. Not going to get a connection because of that Bandit. Can it get one more shot in? Just out of range. Coochi defends well, and as we go into the final 20 seconds of regulation, Coochi ahead by a little over 250, maybe about 270 HP on that right-hand lane. Mirror matches can be so frustrating. You don't feel like there's any particular piece that gets involved. Now, Dip, there's a lot of thought process behind different types of mirror matches. In Expo, people talk about controlling, whoever controls Ice Golem, plays their Ice Golem better, usually wins the Expo mirror match. Looking at this one, how do you think you get the advantage with this specific matchup?
I would say Magic Archers and Fireball value. And healers. Those are the 3 like key components of this matchup, because Fireball value obviously is really important, but if you have a healer down, it can completely like ruin it for you, as well as Magic Archer snipes. I think they both do a really good job of defending each other, so it's whoever can get like the best fireballs in, as well as the most Magic Archer damage.
Here we go, really good push on the right-hand lane from Javi. You saw the Bandit get across the bridge, take out the Magic Archer in the back, and now Javi able to get all over the tower. So we talked about that, the healer and the Magic Archer being 2 really key pieces, and right there, Javi able to sneak the Bandit across the bridge, break up the push from the back, and suddenly go to a counter push. Cannon Cart behind the Ram Rider. So now it's Coochi trying to go left-hand lane despite not having much there, and maybe a bit of a juke. He goes Ram Rider, Cannon Cart right at the bridge. That's a pretty spammy push. Defensive Ram Rider out from Javi 14, and Fireball just stops that. Cannon Cart cannot get on tower for Coochi, just slightly out of range. Coochi with a good move. Javi 1 step ahead, as he so often is. And Cannon Cart nicely played to keep the Magic Archer from lining up on that right-hand side. Talked about that Fireball value. There you go. Battle Healer giving a little extra juice to the Cannon Cart in the right-hand lane, and now knowing he has to defend this right-hand lane, Javi goes left-hand lane with his Ram Rider. Coochi has 15 seconds left. Not going to be enough time. He needs basically 7 rockets, and there are no rockets in his deck. So there you go. Final 5 seconds. Fireball in to put a cap on it. Javi 14 taking game number 1 of our 1v1 set. Very, very well played by Javi. And it's Radiking getting on the board here in the 1v1. Going to go ahead and get our stats ready for that one. Dip, thoughts on what we just saw?
Yeah, I think Javi just he played it really well, and he just played really calm. He didn't do anything special. He just played it slow and waited for Coochi to make a mistake. Realistically, just got his damage and then just kept defending, and that's really all he did. He just defended better and capitalized off the one time that Coochi played too much Elixir.
And there you have it. The one time Coochi overextended a little bit, and you see for a Javi, I mean, both these guys getting a lot of the Bandit on the board, obviously, but there was one big Bandit that made the difference, and here's a big difference. Looking at this one, Coochi only playing 1 Fireball the entire game. Is that right? That seems like that's insane. I mean, you talked about that being a key to victory.
Yeah. I think he was just trying to... He must have just been trying to just snipe all of his cards with, like, cannon carts or magic archers. So he's probably doing a good job with that, but... Yeah, I think using your fireball more, I think, is the key to that matchup, personally. Just defending as hard as you can, and just capitalizing off the, like, best mistake, or just capitalizing off whenever you can see that they overextended or just made a mistake. So, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting from Coochi.
So here we go. Javi Catorze up 1, Radiking with a chance to tie up in sets and give us our second King of the Hill of the day. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. Javi Catorze, bottom of your screen. Coochi top of your screen. Reminder, there are no bans for this match at all because we are in 1v1 set. And it's going to be minor wall breakers for Javi, and Coochi may be going back to the same deck one more time. That's an interesting choice from Coochi to potentially go back to the same thing after just taking the loss with it.
Yeah, well, I guess he's just trying to be unpredictable. Oh,
no, it's a little different. Yeah, it's a little different with the... Now we see the...
Yeah.
This could be graveyard.
Golem or graveyard, I would say. Yeah, it looks like Golem.
Miner to the right-hand side. Minions behind. Battle Healer meets the Musketeer at the top. And the Tornado, you see the idea Coochi was going for, but the E-Drag does not turn and get that off, so still eats a bit of damage on the right-hand side. Good idea from Coochi. Execution just maybe one tile away from getting it done, and now E-Drag going to easily get taken care of by the Princess Tower. Mega Knight does leap. Can it stick that cannon cart deep in Coochi's territory? Yes, it does. And just a little, maybe a bit of aggression there at the bridge from Javi Catorze on the right-hand side. So here we go. First 90 seconds away. Javi out again to a pretty big lead, about 1,000 tower damage done on the right-hand side. And it's going to be, there you go, Elixir Golem, E-Drag, Cannon Cart for Coochi. Just one tile gave up so much damage. And that's the thing about Tornado, is if you play it right, it's so valuable. But you put Tornado off by one tile, and suddenly you've thrown 3 Elixir right down the drain.
Yeah. So, I think it's still, yeah, Coochi is still in a really good situation here. I think with no big spell, just Mega Knight and the 2 air cards, I think it's really hard for Javi to get like a really great defense. Maybe a bit too aggressive at the bridge there, but he can just get value NATO, just NATO everything in, which I think is what he's going to do. Oh, wait, no, never mind. If the E-Drag lived, you could have just NATO'd everything in.
And look at that. This cannon cart will not get off its wheels. That is the cannon cart that could. Thomas the train engine. Chugging along all the way across the bridge. Does not get on tower. Doesn't matter. Coochi able to weather the early defensive mishap and come back with a massive offensive presence. Javi Catorze throwing down an obligatory Mega Knight. Knows that it's over. Coochi going to go ahead and take game number 2. Tying things up with Javi Catorze. Very, very nicely played by the Team Queso veteran, your former EU champion, now making things 1-1. Wow, that was an interesting one. Just at the end, it seemed like there was really just no overall answers for Javi Catorze in those final moments.
No, I think it's a really tough match for Javi. With E-Drag, Baby Drag, Healer, it's just... And yeah, just, honestly, every card in Coochi's deck just does a really good job at dealing with Javi's deck. And yeah, I just think it's really tough for Javi to do anything when Coochi just builds up his big push like he did there. You just have to do a good job at defending in single Elixir, bring the double, and then just build your death push, more or less.
So all tied up 1-1 at the moment. We'll see if Javi can clutch this thing up and send his team into our King of the Hill set coming up right now. Let's get into it. Team Queso's Coochi top of your stream. Javi Catorze at the bottom for Radiking. As a reminder, Queso, you can see on your right-hand side, already has one set in hand. Javi playing for his team's life, hoping to send them into that final matchup with a shot at $200, courtesy of myself and your friend Clash with Ash. So, interesting opening from Coochi. Looking like graveyard for Coochi, and maybe the same thing for Javi here.
Yeah, and I think in this matchup, Javi definitely has the advantage too. So this is definitely going to be pretty interesting because with the Mega Minion and no NATO, Javi wins the bridge battle, but Coochi can definitely outplay him by being able to activate King Tower, or just getting super value NATOs. So Coochi's been using this deck on ladder a lot and has been doing really well with it. So I think Coochi knows what he's doing, and ooh, a bit aggressive there with that graveyard, with nothing crossing the bridge. So, yeah, that graveyard right there might have already kind of sealed his fate.
Look at that, E-Wiz Baby Dragon going opposite direction, and that Baby Dragon will get in front of the E-Wiz, but the E-Wiz does not get onto the Princess Tower, so Electro Wizard goes down, and first big graveyard here out of Javi 14, and with that Baby Dragon still alive, that's going to be a ton of damage, even with the poison in defense. So with a minute 20 left in regulation time, yeah, Coochi giving the good game. He knows he got caught out on the right-hand side. There's the exclusive emote. Don't worry, guys. There are plenty more chances for your exclusive emote. They'll be all over the place. My friend Koji-san has some tournaments still left. I might help him with a few of those. You will, if you haven't had the emote yet, don't worry. There will be plenty more of those tournaments going on through the end of this month. Here we go, final minute of regulation. Double elixir time, and Javi now in a pretty good spot. Baby Dragon distracted, and he just used his poison offensively, so Javi has to be a little bit careful here. And that's a nice value NATO, but does not quite get the Baby Dragon. There we go. Baby Dragon does get on tower now, and suddenly, just like that, Coochi back in the mix. You do not get the limited emote for watching this, guys, but if you haven't got it yet, there are plenty of tournaments still going around for you to get it. Bridge battle. Javi comes out on top. And a high bomb tower trying to clean up all that support. Baby Dragon does get over on the tower, the little splash damage. And suddenly, Javi again taking a huge lead. Second Baby Dragon down. That's going to be GG. Well played. Javi 14 going to take game number 3 and send us to King of the Hill. If you wanted to see a real battle, here you go. We've got it for you. We are going to King of the Hill. Javi taking it in 3 games in the 1v1. Brilliant, brilliant play. A lot of fun to watch. And I was fairly excited to see that one. So let's go ahead and see if we can get our stats up from that game as I get our scoreboard updated. We'll have them up in just a moment. Guys, if you're just joining us, this is a special showcase bracket. I'll be doing a few of these here on my channel. Go ahead and subscribe. I just threw that link in the chat, youtube.com/RichSlaton. Hit the subscribe button, and you can never miss any of the action. Of course, my Inside the Play series, where I dive deep on some great moments from Clash Royale overall. And then, of course, some of my other fun offerings, like top 5 plays from No Tilt Worlds, things like that. But at the moment, we are taking a look at 2 all-star squads, getting a little warm-up here in the spring. Just having a good time playing some Clash Royale for a little bit of cash and a lot of pride on the line. Dip, thoughts on what we just saw here from Javi 14 and Coochi in that final matchup?
Yeah, I think that Coochi definitely... I think in order for Coochi to win that, he has to play that really patiently. Try to get value Baby Dragon, Ice with NATOs, and just wait for Javi maybe to push a little too hard on offense. But Javi played it, though, I think, the way he needed. Like, he played everything perfect, more or less. And he wins the bridge battles because he has E-Wiz and Mega Minion. So I would say Javi's a bit more pressure there, and Javi he played it well, and he won because of that.
There you go. Here are your stats from that last game. And we're going to go ahead and jump into our King of the Hill here in just a moment. Opening things up will be Canario facing off against Benny in the first game of King of the Hill. So we'll be getting that one going in just a moment. Let me go ahead and get those scores up and ready. And here we go. Canario versus Benihoo, King of the Hill, Team Queso against Radiking, an all-star lineup. And here we go. Benihoo, top of your screen. Canario at the bottom. Of course, Canario, some people knew who he was before the first season of CRL, but when he came out for G2, the stuff that he did, the performances that he had, really put himself on the map. And then, of course, moving over to Team Liquid after that, where they have been on a tear, winning CRL West in the spring and then CRL World Finals victory in the fall. Benny, who's been with the same squad all 3 seasons, coming into 2020, going to be making his 4th season with Team Queso. So looking like Goblin Giant, Sparky for Canario, and minor Loon Cycle for Benihoo.
Yeah, with the mini... Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Oh, never mind. It's going to be Wall Breakers. Yeah, with the mini P.E.K.K.A, I was like, interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it was mini P.E.K.K.A instead of Bomb Tower, that could have been tricky, but yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a misread there. Curse of the Caster happens every once in a while.
This is going to be interesting from Canario, because when Canario's able to just build up a big push, I'll be interested to see how Benihoo tries to punish him, and if he's able to punish, because if Canario can just get his big push, I think it'll be pretty tough, especially with Zap for the bats, and then he can have Skeletons. Skeleton's Ice Skull and Mini P.E.K.K.A can do a really good job against these Sparky pushes. I don't know, this is going to be an interesting matchup, because I know Benihoo's good. Benihoo's very good at these decks, so if Benihoo's going to be able to pull this off, it'll definitely be Benny.
Hold on, Benihoo's good at a deck where he has all 8 cards golded out with their star levels. Mini P.E.K.K.A gets behind. Look at that Mini P.E.K.K.A sneak all the way in. Beautiful play by Benihoo. Sparky goes to the outside with that minor. Mini P.E.K.K.A slides right on through, gets a massive connection, and suddenly Benny out to a big lead, but does get the Dark Prince connection left-hand side, so Canario firing back, and that's one of the things Canario does very well in high-pressure situations. He stays calm. We started seeing that in CRL EU the first season with G2, and he's continued to be so good at that. Minor goes right to the Musketeer in the back, and a beautiful snowball. Wow, gets a little bit extra damage there from Benihoo. These are 2 guys playing at really top level right now. Benihoo, as you said, really, really solid with this deck.
I think that Snowball might have been a mistake from Benihoo. I think Benny wanted his miner to kill that Musketeer, but instead he pushed it away. He ended up getting like an extra like swing or 2 on the tower, which was nice, but if I was Benny, I would have rather had that Musketeer die.
Zap comes in, Mini P.E.K.K.A. Goblins on the tower. Javi Catorza and Canario firing back 161, and you might have been right there, Dip. The Wall Breaker's just barely saving everything. Can he stay alive? No, Dark Prince connects. Canario takes out Benihoo.
Rage.
Yeah, that certainly might be a bit of a rage moment there for the Team Queso player. Let's go ahead and give Canario his just due. The 1 win there on that side. We'll go ahead and try to get our stats up here from Stats Royale. Let's go ahead and get those going in just a moment. And boom, there we go. Your stats, courtesy of our friends at Stats Royale. If you don't know what's coming up next in your chests, go to statsroyale.com. They will tell you. And there you have it. It's Benihoo going down. Next up will be Canario facing off against Ruben, the young star from Team Queso, who was built in the in that Arena Casino system, was amazing in SLO. If you've watched Super League Orange at all in the EU or over in Europe, Ruben was fantastic through that. Kind of went on an amazing undefeated run before he finally came over and joined Team Queso in CRL West for the fall season, where he had an amazing fall season as well, putting up one of the best records. Definitely had a rookie of the year level performance during that fall season. And here we go, getting ready for our next game of King of the Hill. So if you're Benihoo, what are you thinking about the way that game ended on the back end?
Well, once they saw the rage, the rage just makes it so tough for him. But like Benihoo was probably just praying that he had Earthquake or Fireball or something. But yeah, Canario played it the way he needed to. He just needs to keep trying to defend, not lose his tower, because Bunny can apply a ridiculous amount of pressure. Wait for the one good opportunity to push and just take advantage of that, and Canario did a great job of doing that.
And hey to the live chat, I'm not talking to the chat a whole bunch because if you see all this fun graphic stuff going on, it's just me, by myself, in my office producing all these things. So we do have our friend Try the Coach is running the administration inside the game. Of course, my friend Trainer Dip is here to join us on the chat. But when it comes to all the graphic stuff you're seeing, it's just me in my office by myself on a switcher. So when I can jump in and look at the chat, I'll do my best, but mostly trying to focus on bringing you guys the best production possible. And here we go, game number 2, King of the Hill. The young star Ruben up against Canario. Canario from the Canary Islands, part of Spain. And again, wasn't super well known to the public before CRL EU back in 2018, but earned the nickname the Giant Slayer after coming out with a few massive King of the Hill sweeps. He might have more King of the Hill sweeps than any other player in CRL West. I don't have my stats in front of me, but I believe he had a couple that season, and he's definitely put up one or two every single season since. And it is not easy to sweep King of the Hill at this level. Canario does it over and over and over again. Of course, there was that run in CRL West spring season where for 5 games in a row, it was just Surgical Goblin and Canario winning the entire thing. They played 2v2, and then Diego B was their third 1v1 player, and the two of them just ran through it. So there was an entire 5-match run where it was just this man and his teammate Surgical Goblin, but again, a King of the Hill sweep, very difficult, and both players really sitting back here. Can't imagine that they're both running heavy beatdown decks, though. What are your thoughts on this stalemate, Dip?
It could be either Golem or Graveyard. I would say Graveyard is definitely a high possibility, because in Graveyard, you kind of just want to... Okay, so maybe Eagle... Okay, so it's a double Eagle from them. Yeah, well, like I was going to say, in Graveyard, it's always good to wait until double, because it's just better for you. With just these decks like this, it's always good to wait, just because the way you lose these matchups is by spending too much in single elixir and getting punished for it. Very good fireball from Canario. Yeah,
a lot of value there for Canario, and now look at what he's building at the bridge. E-Drag, Baby Dragon, Cannon Cart, 2 Elixir Golems, Bar Barrel in onto the Battle Healer. Ruben trying to get some good value with the Fireball NATO, but he might have lost the staring contest. And Canario throwing a little NATO there for good measure. A little dancing Dart Goblin. And yes, all Ruben can say at this point is wow. And I'll give that a big time wow as well. Canario 2 up, 2 down, taking King of the Hill by storm. And now suddenly Radiking 1 game away from heading on to our finals against Archers, where Cody Go, Lien-tsai, Tommy, and Flash are all waiting. And wow, but the way Canario's playing right now, I would not want to be the one waiting in the wings trying to beat them with money on the line.
Yeah, I would say Canario played that, I would say, pretty much perfect. All you have to really do with that matchup is whoever plays the better NATO wins, and he had that early NATO fireball to get the Electro Dragon, and pretty much from there he already sealed his fate from that NATO fireball alone. So
final game of King of the Hill, potentially, if Canario can just open things off with a 1-2-3, will be IMJP facing off against Canario. So the question is, can the golden-haired golden boy from Barcelona, Spain, clutch things up for his side, or is it going to be Canario getting the 1-2-3? Again, JP, a fantastic head-to-head player, a big knockout puncher, but has to beat Canario and Surgical Goblin. And I don't remember seeing who the last player was, but it's either Soking or Javi, which is... Oh, no, it's Soking. So, yeah, a really, really nasty lineup he has to try to run through here to stay alive.
Well, if you remember back to CRL Season 1, JP swept Liquid and G2. So, he's no stranger to sweeping some big names.
Oh, yeah, JP certainly has the skill set to do it. So the big question here is, did he get good enough analysis? Is he ready to come out swinging
Oh, this game's already over. JP won. It's balloon. Wait, is it balloon? Well, with Barbaro, actually no. Well, yeah, I assume it's still balloon from Canario, and this is just like it's already over pretty much. I don't see. This is just such like this is the worst matchup you can get for balloon.
So, talk to the people viewing a little bit why this is the worst matchup you can get for balloon.
Okay, because you're gonna see here, JB's just gonna play his bomb tower there, where it's gonna pull the, it's gonna pull the balloon no matter where you play it, and now he's just gonna play the load NATO, just pull straight to King Tower, and yeah, just now all he has to do is just continue to defend with Ice Wizards, Baby Dragons, NATOs, bomb towers, and just not get 3 crowned. Just don't keep pulling balloons to your King Tower. Just keep defending properly. Poison the Musketeers. Graveyard when you have a good opportunity to graveyard and they don't have like a musk down or anything, where you can get value poison, then you can keep pushing. But yeah, it's tough to just break through in general.
I mean, there are very few matchups that you really think get beyond like a 60-40. You know, it seems like the meta is pretty balanced. There are some that get pretty tough, but where do you rate this one in terms of JP's favor?
In order to lose, you just have to mess up. Simple as that. Like I don't think there's much that Balloon can do to outplay the Graveyard player. So yeah, it's just if the Graveyard player plays well, it's like 100-0. I don't know like what a Balloon player can do to win this matchup. Playing like if JP plays well.
And you can see a pile of thumbs ups coming in from JP. As you said, Bomb Tower gets the easy pull on the balloon. Isos will slow it down as well. The Bomb Tower damage will hurt the heck out of that balloon. And final 30 seconds left. Canario can dance all he wants. It's JP going to take game number 2. Let's go ahead and just make it official now. Let's see if I can curse this thing by making it official a little bit too early. Right? La Mufa, La Mufa, La Mufa. We'll just call that one game. And look at that. JP with the BM Graveyard High.
And the Bomb Tower.
And the Bomb Tower opposite side. JP with a little bit of BM there at the end. Taking game number 3 and keeping his squad alive, at least for the minute. That's some of the... I don't think I've seen BM that nasty in a minute with the Graveyard and the Bomb Tower like that.
He even NATO'd the balloon closer to the tower, like JP.
Yeah.
He just did not care.
JP went wild there at the end. Really, hey, look, it was a fun one to watch, but oh man, I updated the stats 1 second too early before the game came in. Oh man, I had those ready to go. All right, well, we have our next game of King of the Hill. You have Canario down. It's going to be Soking coming in for game number 4 of King of the Hill. Soking, of course, has been all over the place in his CRL career with Team Queso for that European Championship in Season 1, and then moving on to SK Gaming for Season 2, where they got second place in the West, falling to Team Liquid, and then after that, moving on to Tribe. So he really has been traveling the distance throughout his CRL career. And here we go, up against JP with a chance to close out King of the Hill against his countrymen.
Alright, so it looks like the Cannon Cart deck from... Could be a mirror match. Or it's either Eagle from Soaking or it's a mirror match here, so... Just wait and see about this. I feel like if Soaking's not playing anything, it's probably... Oh, never mind. Well, actually, it still could be Eagle from Soaking. But... yeah, it could be another mirror match. Okay, there we go. So it is Eagle. This matchup, this will be interesting. I think that if Soaking is Fireball, I think it should be fairly easy for Soaking to just pull this one out, but I'm not 100% sure.
Why, with this match looking like it's a potential... Oh, no, so it's going to be the bridge spam for Soaking, or bridge spam for IMJP, and then E-Golem for Soaking. Why does the Fireball, if he has it, and it looks like he's not going to have it with the Tornado and the Earthquake in there?
The Fireball kind of you just build up your push in double elixir, NATO Fireball, everything, and or just Fireball, just Magic Archer, whatever. Just having the answer for the Magic Archer is really good for soaking. But now JP can apply a lot of pressure, get really good defenses, play good Magic Archers. Soaking can still NATO the Magic Archers in, so there's still a lot Soaking can do, but it makes it just a bit better. It just makes it better for JP, where now I would say it's a bit more fair. I think here the better player wins.
Magic Archer gets some nice lineup value, getting the cannon cart out of the back. Baby Dragon getting healed like crazy by the Battle Healer. No real direct way to get onto that Magic Archer, so it just stays alive just about forever, and now still active is the Magic Archer. Bar Barrel Tornado, E-Drag trying to stop this push before it can really get started. IMJP pitching a shutout here through the first minute and 20 seconds. Soaking behind, not by a lot, gave up one little chunk of damage, but has not had even been able to sniff a bit of tower damage in the opposite direction. Bandit does get the Battle Healer off. Fireball in, Baby Dragon trying to get ahead, but wonder if that cannon cart, can it get close enough? And it does. Big cannon cart connection for IMJP. The Haymaker thrower lands a big one as we move into sudden death overtime. IMJP ahead. Soaking finally in the final 10 seconds of regulation gets some damage on tower. Now that we're getting deeper into double and potentially triple elixir, does this begin to switch towards Soaking at all, or is it still going to be the advantage JP?
Yeah, I think Soaking kind of just he just had to play with his back against the wall for a while and just try to just not lose early. And from that point, Soaking can just defend. He can just defend and by spamming cards now and just building up big pushes, stacking Magic Archers. I would say that first NATO on the two Magic Archers might not have been the best, but yeah, if I was Soaking, I would wait a little more, try to get really value NATOs, wait to have my E-Dragons down. But okay, yeah, like there you go. That's the NATO he's looking for. But now he played that pretty low in elixir. He can play like an E was on the right or something, or left. I mean, and then yeah, and then now this is another spot where JP can take advantage of. I think Soaking possibly overcommitting. Baby
Dragon down. E-Drag trying to stop as well. Fireball in, get a little bit more value. Ram Rider on tower 660. Soaking with a chance for a counter push. Battle Healer will give the E-Drag a little bit extra cannon cart behind. And Tornado trying to pull all of that in. Brings the Magic Archer forward, but Fireball cleans up the back end. Soaking just trying to pour everything on right now. And getting that tower down to under 800 HP. Very, very close right now. Does not want the Bandits to dash. And look at that. High Elixir Golem keeping the Bandits away from tower. Again, Tornado with Baby Dragon and Electro Dragon trying to keep everything at the bridge and win this bridge battle for Soaking. And now JP with 13 seconds left sees the situation, cycles a Fireball, just trying to get tower damage if he can. This is a big push the opposite direction. Can Soaking steal this? Earthquake comes in. Tornado tries to get some value. The E-Drags, do they get close enough? They don't. Wow. JP just barely clutches it by 139 HP. Wow. IMJP able to hold on. Soaking nearly stealing that in the final few seconds, but it was IMJP able to hold on, and it really looked like Soaking was about to pull the rug out from under the Team Queso player.
Wow, those two E-Dragons were like, they were so close to shooting, which would have taken the tower there. That was ridiculous.
That was absolutely insane. And so here we go. Game 5, King of the Hill goes all the way down to the very end. And this, of course, is what we all wanted to see. It's going to be, I believe, IMJP against Surgical Goblin. And then the winner will move on to the finals against Archers, who are waiting in the wings, hoping to see who they will face off against. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats from that last one from our friends at Stats Royale. Go ahead and slide those on in for you. Wow, this is what we wanted. It's been two great King of the Hill runs. Codigo, of course, with the King of the Hill sweep in game number 1. Canario nearly doing it here in our second match. But now it's going to be IMJP against Surgical Goblin to decide it all. The defending world champion. Can he clutch a Game 5 King of the Hill once more with significantly less money on the line this time around? Surgical Goblin, bottom of your screen. JP at the top. Of course, if you don't know who Surgical Goblin is, I guess you have not watched competitive Clash Royale in the past. Magic Archer just out of range, getting on tower. Mini P.E.K.K.A might sneak through, get a shot, and it does. 1936, left-hand side. One big-time shot. By the way, for those of you who are watching in chat, if you are watching on your mobile device, specifically your phone, and you feel like the action is a bit too small, watched in landscape mode, if you switch to watching this in your browser rather than the YouTube app, you can zoom in on just the game screen and watch the gameplay alone in full screen. You just have to switch from the YouTube app to your YouTube browser, and that's possible to do. So if you're watching on phone and you want to go zoom all the way in, go ahead, do that. Otherwise, if you're watching on computer or tablet or a big screen TV, welcome. And you don't have to do a darn thing. You can enjoy the whole overlay.
This is a fun matchup, but I think JP might have a bit of an advantage here with Surge not having Tornado. So we'll have to wait and well, yeah, I think JP just has to do a good job at pressuring, gets value with his hunters, good magic archers, and I think JP's in a really good spot to take this, especially depending on what JP's final card is. If it's the delivery or log, that's where the big seller is going to be for JP here. Maybe a bit too much for Surge. Oh, that's Ice Golem now.
So here we go. Royal Hogs, Hunter, Magic Archer, a pretty classic combination going back to the fall of 2018. And that EQ coming in and trying to make some room. Well defended overall, though, by the Baby Dragon Ewiz combination. And Royal Delivery does help out up top, but Graveyard going to still get quite a bit of damage. That Hunter's fire rate not quite enough to prevent a lot of those skeletons from getting on. So here we go. Baby Dragon, Mega Minion, right-hand lane. Bomb Tower will pick up the Hogs in the left-hand lane. Ewiz to support the push into the right-hand side. Dip, yeah, go ahead.
You know, I was wrong. I think with the Ewiz, I think this might be like very in favor of Surge. Just being able to play Bomb Tower Ewiz, I actually think it might be better than him having NATO.
Bomb Tower down, maybe a Knight in response to try to pull the Mini P.E.K.K.A. Mini P.E.K.K.A does get one shot. Surgical Goblin playing a little fast and loose on defense there. Bomb Tower now out of cycle. Earthquake takes care of the Bomb Tower. Royal Hogs are in. Magic Archer, second Magic Archer down to try to line things up for JP. Going to get some more damage here, 285. That Magic Archer going to town right now. Baby Dragon on the outside, but right now the ball's in IMJP's court. Surgical Goblin needs to get one great graveyard push. Mini P.E.K.K.A traps the Knight at the bridge. IMJP,
Delivery.
And there you go. GG comes out from Surgical Goblin. He knows that's it. Didn't pick up the Mini P.E.K.K.A. Bomb Tower came in late. IMJP capitalizes, and take a look at that. The golden-haired golden boy from Barcelona, Spain, coming out with a huge King of the Hill. Was that a reverse sweep? Did he get all three?
Yeah, just like Gold Dignitas days.
Ooh, look at that. IMJP with a nasty reverse sweep. And yeah, you might have heard that. Some emotes in the chat over on this side. A little bit of fire because that's how that was played. JP bringing the heat in that game. Let's take a look at our stats courtesy of our friends at Stats Royale. And wow, what an impressive matchup overall. Wow, Surgical Goblin really was in control for a bit. Talk to us a bit, Dip, about what happened in those final moments when the game shifted towards JP away from Surgical Goblin.
Well, first Surge tried to bar barrel he tried to just bar barrel a Magic Archer when I just don't think it was the right play, which JP then caught with Mini P.E.K.K.A. And then he played a really, really high Mega Minion when he could have played it a bit lower, which led to the Mini P.E.K.K.A getting a shot. Then he played... Then I forgot what prompted it. But then he played a Bomb Tower, which then JP... Before he played Hogs. So then JP just Earthquaked that, threw his Hogs down, got another Magic Archer down to the tower, and it was just one bad sequence from Surge that JP just completely capitalized off of.
And there you go. You can see the stats, courtesy of our friends at Stats Royale. And to the chat, hey, Mad Raider, hi, how are you? Going to go in and say some hellos. Who was the co-caster? That would be Trainer Dippets, CRL player and analyst. And we have one more match. That was our two opening matches, and now we're going to have Team Queso facing off against Archers in our final match. So just getting those lineups ready to go, and we'll be here with the gameplay in just a moment. But that was certainly an exciting and pretty wild run for both of these two sides. So let me go ahead and just get some of the overlay adjusted for us to get ready for that third and final match. Wow, just really, really well played from both sides. Surgical Goblin, as you said, just getting that one little out of sequence. And, one of the things, my favorite things about this game is how, it is sort of a fast-paced digital version of chess. And what we saw there was just one move cascading to the next. And next thing you know, it's suddenly Team Queso going through on the back of a great performance by IamJP. Let's see. Take a look. If you have questions in the chat, go ahead and throw them in as we are waiting to get our final matchup ready to go. And just to give you a little bit of clues of who we're watching as we go through this one, one of our two finalist squads, Archers, which may or may not be one of the prospective teams for CRL in the upcoming season. Let's see, taking a few minutes to get the lineups set up for our final match. So our admin, Try the Coach, by the way, give Try the Coach a little bit of love for what he's been doing, administrating this whole thing by himself. And so there's Team Archers on one side, Flash, Código, Lien-tsai, and Tommy. Flash, of course, from CRL Latin America, then joined up with Dignitas late in 2020. Código and Lien-tsai, both from Cream Esports in the past, no longer with Cream. We'll see where they end up in 2020. And Tommy, the Nicaraguan ninja who spent 3 seasons with Tribe, no longer with Tribe, might be paired up with these three guys that you see on the other side as we just saw them come out against Radaking, Ruben, Coochi, Benihoo, and IamJP. Coochi and Benihoo now going to make their 4th season in a row with Team Queso. They have been the rock upon which this squad has been built. Ruben, the young superstar, built up through their development program, through Arena Casito, their academy team, and they were just waiting for him to turn 16 so they could slide him into this Team Queso roster, and he is nasty. And as you just saw, with a 3-0 sweep, beating Canario, So King, and Surgical Goblin in a reverse sweep, King of the Hill, with it all on the line. IamJP, the knockout artist who is capable of beating anybody in an exciting moment at any time, great at capitalizing on the one opening you give him, rounds out that 4-man Team Queso side. So we're just waiting to get those rosters in. Try the Coach is trying to get those done as quickly as possible, and let's see. We do have, let me go ahead and get these ready, but I believe we do have our rosters starting to come in. So let me go ahead and prep the overlay for our final game. By the way, guys, hi, let me go ahead and just bring myself back on camera for a second. Hi, I'm Rich Slaton from Clash Royale League, one of the 2 English commentators for CRL. My friend Andrew, one of these days, will join us for one of these, but trying to coordinate our schedules from across the city can be challenging here and there. This is a special showcase day of CRL level play. You've already seen some of your favorite stars. We have one more match together to go. The prize pool, $200, donated by myself and Clash with Ash. So go ahead and give @CWA a shout out on Twitter. Thank him so much for his support overall towards competitive Clash Royale. And we're going to hopefully do more of these things, bring you a bunch of cool stuff in Clash Royale esports. I'm going to go ahead and throw the YouTube subscribe link in the chat. Hit subscribe to my channel so you can see more things like this. We're going to be doing a national teams bracket with some squads you may have seen in No Tilt Worlds, trying to get some revenge on squads they may have lost to during the No Tilt World season, and of course some other fun esports offerings here, as well as some general YouTube content that I do on the channel. So we do have our Queso roster in, just waiting to get our other roster in. And again, here's the full lineup For 2v2 for Team Queso, it is going to be Benny-Hu and Coochi with Ruben as their 1v1 player. And then for 2v2, Codigo and Flash coming out once again for Archers with Tommy in the 1v1, and the ban will be Tornado on both sides. So everyone's just banning Tornado. Any surprises for you there, Dip, with everyone just going, hey, you know what, let's just get Tornado off the board?
No, like everyone hates NATO, and it's kind of just like you always think like, oh, well, if I don't ban NATO, the one time you don't ban NATO is the one time that the other team is not going to ban NATO.
Sure.
So it's just how everything works. So everyone's just playing it safe. Double NATO bans.
Get it out of there. No one cares. Get it off the board. There we go. So our next match is about to start. Our lineups are in. So our Try the coach, who's our admin's going to get those requests up here in just a moment, and we'll get our finals on the day kicking off here in a few minutes. Guys, if you haven't yet, of course, hit subscribe if you want to go ahead and sub to me. Also, Dip, what's your Twitter? It's George. It's at @GeorgeCR_. Is that correct?
Yeah, but if you just type in like Dipwits on Twitter, it just pops up anyway.
That's stupid backwards, by the way, for those of you who didn't know that. If you type in Dipwits on Twitter, you'll find him pretty easily. And thank you again, Bud, for joining and helping out with the commentary and filling in some time when I have to work on on switching around all these different pieces. Because, of course, yeah, it is. I am the director, I'm the caster, I'm the producer. I'm pretty much everything at the moment right now, other than my friend Try, who's doing the administration, and our buddy Dip here on the cast. And, of course, thank you very much to Esports Royale, to everyone at the Clash Royale esports team, for supporting initiatives like this, chances for us to bring you some fun pro-level gameplay in the off-season as we're waiting for CRL East and West to start back up for 2020. We'll get to do a lot of more of this stuff because they're able to help us out and make things pretty fun for everybody. And, of course, thanks to CWA, at CWA on Twitter, for throwing in the extra half of the prize pool to give a little extra juice behind these matches. And here we go. 2v2 requests will be coming in just a moment. The only ban, as a reminder, is Tornado. And let's take one more look at the rosters because you need to see my face this long. There you go. Archers with Flash, Codigo, Lien-tsai, and Tommy on one side. Across from them, Team Queso with Ruben Coochi, Benny-Hu, and IMJP. The request should be going up here in just uno momento, por favor. And we're going to see a big battle. It's Spain against Latin America. So those of you who are watching from one of those two parts of the world, go ahead and pick your team and start cheering because it's going to be the original country from Spain against the Latin American stars. And here we go. 2v2 just about up. Waiting on that final request, and here we go. Will it be the colonizers from Spain, or will it be the breakout countries of Latin America taking the victory today?
Who do you have in this 2v2, Rich?
I mean, Coochi and Benny have just done it for so long together. It's really hard to replace that level of experience as a team. Of course, Flash and Codigo were at one point on Cream together, but you know, I mean, Coochi and Benny, they're beyond a 2v2 duo. They're beyond best friends. They're like brothers. So it's really hard to replace that level of synergy.
Actually, I kind of just remembered, this is almost like a grudge match for Queso, because didn't they beat Queso in a really important match last season?
I think that might have been one that kept Queso from going up a little bit higher in the in that snake in the gauntlet for our playoffs.
Actually, no. I think they might have Queso got second place regardless. Now that I think about it, because the way everything played out, I think one team lost and they still got second, but still, they definitely want to continue. They still want to beat them. I think this is a good matchup because both these teams have been grinding in the off season. So, I think they're both at a really good level right now. So this is just a fun match to watch, especially Codigo, clearly.
Yeah, Queso really never takes their foot off the gas. That's one of the things about that program overall. No. A lot of teams, a lot of players kind of take the off season and take a few weeks, and we've seen that in No Tilt Worlds. A lot of teams didn't perform at the level expected, and it might have been because a lot of the semi-pro players who are either in Orange Crown League or trying to really make their name for themselves in Revels tournaments, the Brang Chong Cup and things like that. So a lot of those players were at their best level. A lot of the CRL pros were maybe not in full fighting shape.
Yeah, I agree.
DNL asked in the chat, please more Inside the Play video, Rich. DNL, don't you worry. I love doing Inside the Play. It's a lot of work to produce, but you will certainly see more of them. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, hit subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plug, 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 plug. And go ahead and check out those Inside the Plays. There are currently 6 episodes up on my YouTube, so diving deep in some of the best moments of Clash Royale gameplay, Clash Royale history, and some top-tier performances, getting into the X's and O's of why a play worked a certain way or didn't work a certain way. So here we go. Cody Go Flash, top of your screen, with a little bit of an advantage in terms of damage. Coochi and Benny at the bottom. Plenty of elixir right now.
Yeah, this is I've been doing my fair share of looking at. I see Queso continues to use like this deck in 2v2, and they have a native version and then a non-native version, and it just their win rate with this deck is just like oh my god, that snowball is not gonna cut.
Well, that's 3 wall breakers and a miner connecting right hand side, so suddenly Flash and Cody Go in a really great spot. Just going to spell cycle a little bit. No real way to deal with the miners. Dark Prince comes down. That's unless these baby dragons. Oh my god, poison in. Baby dragon on. Team Queso. Team Queso. Coochi and Betty nearly throw. Oh my word, that was nearly a total throw. Team Queso nearly got their feet cut out from under them by Flash and Cody Go when not 1, not 2, but 3 wall breakers all connect on that right-hand side down to under 200 HP. And Queso goes, hey, but guess what? Bing, 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 baby dragon, poison, GG, well played. Wow.
Maybe it was all calculated, who knows. But regardless, good pressure from Cody Go and Flash, knowing that they didn't have an answer for it. But then I think they had to snowball to prevent. I'm going to give Queso the benefit of the doubt here and say they snowballed just knowing that the 3 wouldn't have taken, but if they just kept spending on the left, that they would have taken the tower. That's my hot take.
That's quite a hot take indeed. Team Queso going to go ahead and get the first point on the board in this final matchup. Benny Hu and Coochi with a good one, and here we go. Game number 2. Let's jump on in. Coochi and Benny up by 1. $200, which you can use to buy a lot of hand sanitizer. On the line right now. Flash and Cody Go. Or what? Or gems. Or gems, yes.
Yeah.
For $200, you could really push your account pretty high. Flash and Cody Go. You know, it's you have to feel like this team overall, this Archers squad, using this pseudonym for the moment, this Archers squad, you have to really feel like they are have a chip on their shoulder after, CRL Latin America. Cream came in second. It was Javi Catorze kind of stealing it with Vivo Keyed, and it looked like Cream was going to run away with it, and then suddenly it was Javi and Kiki and Gabo running on to the CRL World Finals. And then Cody Go and Luke Dubs joining Cream late in the CRL West Spring season for 2019, and that team underperforming, and then just a dismal performance from a lot of from these players in the fall season. So you look at this side, whether it be Cody Go and Lien-tsai coming from Cream, Flash, who had a rough outing with Dignitas, or Tommy, who looked like an unbeatable player in CRL North America, and then has had his ups and downs during the last 2 seasons in CRL West. You feel like this team has a chip on their shoulder and wants to prove themselves in 2020.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, they have a lot to prove, and I think they're ready to prove it. I'm really excited to see Cody Go more because, yeah, he's shown. I think he's the most exciting player to see come back in the offseason right now, because he's doing clearly. He's shown the most improvement so far in my eyes.
Hold on, I heard that Revel just got banned by the Nightbot. I am going to try to bring Revel back. I don't know how that happened. I do know who Revel is. I don't know why the Nightbot is going so crazy. Just do your best to obey the Nightbot rules. If any of my mods are in there and can unblock or unban Revel, that would be nice because there's no reason for Revel to be banned at the moment. That's hilarious.
What do you like? Post like a link or something?
I don't know. I think he posted something in caps and Nightbot didn't like it. So, I had Nightbot on there because usually I don't have such a big team of moderators, and we knew we have a lot of people watching today. Ooh, the freeze comes in. Balloon should get a connection, and it does. Ewiz not able to stop that one, and suddenly Coochi and Benny with a chance at making it a clean 2-0 in the opening set.
Yeah, the bad snowball from Flash pushing the balloon towards the tower. I don't know if it made a difference, but it would definitely have been close.
Yeah, guys, I will attempt to make Nightbot cool its jets when I get a chance. But, didn't adjust the settings for Nightbot on the chat, but there you have it.
Yeah, could he go to Flash for playing it well here? Just keep on pushing into that lane. Don't spend too much so that they have a clear opportunity in the other lane. But yeah, I think they're playing it pretty smart here. Good freeze there.
You know what? I have temporarily unmodded the Nightbot, guys. There you go. So I don't know. Did Revel get a full-on ban or just a timeout? Oh my word! Baby Dragon, can I get close enough? 360 left-hand lane.
That's game. They're not defending.
Double balloon, left-hand side, fireball in.
One balloon's not getting pushed anyway. Bad bomb tower.
Freeze gets in. Bomb tower does not get the second balloon. Snowball trying to save this thing. He was trying to save this thing. Balloons don't connect. Dark Prince doesn't connect. Death damage to 63. Just need one more big spell. Graveyard and freeze. Freeze may be a little bit early here. Oh, that was a defensive freeze. Fireball comes in, and Coochi and Benny just nearly, again, making it interesting. Let's put it that way. 2 games in a row where Coochi and Benny are like, hey, if you wanted 2v2 to be a bit more exciting, we're going to make that one happen for you. Wow. They're lot showmen. Of fun. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Coochi and Benny are most certainly showmen, and they showed us there. So let's go ahead and see if I can get the stats to update here for that one. And it looks like that's the correct game. So let's go ahead and get these stats up courtesy of your friends and my friends at Stats Royale. There you go. Stats from that 2v2 set. And yeah, hopefully Revel's back. I hope Revel's not still banned from the chat by that Nightbot. I put Nightbot on timeout. Timeout to you, Nightbot, for going too crazy.
Honestly, a bit of a choke, in my opinion, from the Dig guys. A bad snowball allowing that first balloon to hit, and then a bad bomb tower not pulling the second balloon, which I think could have possibly led to one of them not getting death damage. So, yeah, overall, I think they played really well, except for 2 misplays, which I think is what lost them that game. If it was a mistake-free game, I think that the Dig guys would have won.
Well, it doesn't turn out that way, and so now we're moving to 1v1 with Queso in the advantage. It's going to be Ruben versus Tommy. So we've gone to King of the Hill twice today. Will we go to King of the Hill a 3rd time?
And see a 3rd sweep.
Oh, we could see a 3rd sweep as well. It's been Sweep City. Cody go in the first game, IMJP in match number 2. And here we go. Let's jump into our 1v1 set. Currently, Team Queso at the advantage. Tommy needs to win 2 of these 3 games to keep his squad in the mix.
Looks like the Mega Knight Wallbreaker stack from Ruben, and could be anything from Tommy still. This is a very common combo. Maybe, looks like, this does not look good for Ruben. Looks like E-Golem from Tommy, possibly. And then, yeah, the Mega Knight deck from Ruben. We saw this matchup go down before, but except this time Tommy has Mini P.E.K.K.A, which is even worse for Ruben. Ah, never mind. But this is still pretty bad, because I think Tommy has Inferno Dragon here, which is just going to clean up everything right here. Yeah,
and there you go, Inferno Dragon. How can he protect it? Nice Skellies there to try to keep... Oh, a Zap comes in. Mega Knight's going to leap. Mini P.E.K.K.A is going to get on tower. That's going to be tower down, left-hand side.
Just an unnecessary placement of the Inferno Dragon, where he could have just played it behind the Lava Hound and had no risk, but instead he played it in an aggressive position when he didn't need to, which led to half his King Tower being gone right now. And not taking the tower, so yeah. A big mistake from Tommy, in my opinion.
So you think you should have put the Inferno Dragon a little bit further back behind the Lava Hound.
He could have just played it lower, so everything didn't leave the range of the Inferno Dragon, plus the minions wouldn't have killed, like, taken all of its health. He probably wouldn't even have used his Zap either, if that happened. So, yeah, it was just mistake after mistake from Tommy.
I thought I put the Nightbot on timeout. Oh well. Here we go. Final minute of regulation time. Double Elixir. And, I mean, what do you think of Tommy's chances of still getting this left-hand tower down in this minute without sacrificing everything?
Honestly, I think Ruben's gonna wait, minoring high as well. I don't think that's the play from Tommy here. I think Tommy needs to be going for tower damage, but I don't know. Ruben has really good defenses here. Yeah, I think this.
And there you go. Mini P.E.K.K.A connects. Wall breakers connect, and that's a 3 crown from Ruben. So game number 1 goes to Team Queso, and now they are 1 win away from securing this match and taking the full $200 back home to Spain.
Yeah. I'm not sure whose matchup that is particularly, but I think regardless that at the start of the game was just, I don't know. I think Tommy had there was one play he could have done to lose him the game, and he made it. So he lost pretty early on, and it was really hard for him to come back from that point.
So here you go. Taking a look at our stats from our buddies at Stats Royale. Ruben, it was the Mini P.E.K.K.A and the Mega Knight able to slide on through and take the tower down early. As my friend Trainer Dippets, who's the guy joining me on voice today, mentioned, the Inferno Dragon played high, a little bit easy to deal with, and there you go. Hey, Revel's back in the chat. Welcome back, Revel, from your temporary ban. Sorry that Nightbot was going absolutely crazy, but here we are. Potentially the final game of today's mini bracket tournament. We'll see if Team Queso can close things out. Tommy needs to win 2 in a row to try to send us to our 3rd King of the Hill of the day. And here we go. Let's jump into game number 2 of 1v1. And Tommy cycles Zap early. Snowball in response from Ruben.
Maybe they flipped matchups.
You know, Dip, so many people cycle their small spell early. But, you know, sometimes it's a fine decision. Sometimes it ends up being disastrous. What are some of your thoughts on, you know, let's say you're running Snowball. When you do or don't have certain things in your hand, like on cycling that Snowball opening up, when's a good time to do it and when's not a good time to do it?
It also depends on, like, what else you have. Like, if you need to have an air counter, like for example, Ruben had Baby Dragon in hand there. So it wasn't a bad idea for him to play his Snowball. It heals what he was. If your only air defense is Snowball, then maybe you should be waiting until double Elixir. Yeah, it all depends on the deck and just what you can defend against, more or less.
Oh, Tommy goes Inferno Dragon high. Nearly gets a big chunk out of it, but the lightning cleans a bunch of that up. But this miner still able to tank a fair bit. Ruben gets some good lightning value, but still gives up a ton of damage on the right-hand side. Stab Gobs will add a bit more to that. So Tommy, in the first 90 seconds, getting it down to 12:03. Ruben with the big-time wow, not quite able to ruin everything there for the Nicaraguan player. Able to get a little bit of chunk of damage, but first minute 40 away, and right now, big advantage to Tommy from Archers.
Yeah, once again, this is another example. Lava versus P.E.K.K.A. It's always pretty good for Lava. So, Lightning will make it interesting, and also we have to see how Tommy responds to this. Okay, Mini P.E.K.K.A. in response. Mini P.E.K.K.A. Goblin. Wow, that's just not what Ruben was probably hoping to play against here. Good poison. Smart.
Poison down. Baby Dragon should come off here in just a moment. So this should be a pretty simple tower trade. Tommy does the math. So now that we're in a cross tower situation, what do you think of this matchup?
Lava. Oh, man.
Nice prediction bar barrel from Ruben. That's why people respect his play so much. Ewiz in. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful play. Ruben just pouring it on right now against Tommy. Tommy low on elixir. Not much he can do. Mini P.E.K.K.A. gets in. Snowball trying to keep that bandit off the tower. Just barely does. Unbelievable by Ruben.
Yeah. Once again, I don't know. Tommy's making interesting plays to me. It's like, yes, like he had to play goblins there, but he played them in the one spot where that could happen. Because with bar barrels, so I think it's an easily. He just has to be more aware by making these easily avoidable plays. In my eyes. Good bar barrel again. Catch the Mini P.E.K.K.A. Yeah, Ruben's playing this really, really well though.
And that Baby Dragon not in range of tower, so not going to get much value out of that Mini P.E.K.K.A. going the opposite direction here. And P.E.K.K.A. in the... Yeah, look at that. P.E.K.K.A. right in the middle. Wow. Inferno Dragon taken care of by the Ewiz. Miner trying to keep that P.E.K.K.A. away from tower. Mini P.E.K.K.A. down for Tommy as well. And Tommy does survive, but comes out behind on elixir. Has to deal with this Ram Rider on the left-hand side, and all he has is the Inferno Dragon. Does not have the Mini P.E.K.K.A. And that's going to be it. Ruben, 6 crowns in 2 games, takes the win. My word, Ruben is an unbelievable player, and if you don't know, well, now you know. Wow. And it was that bar barrel, and you said, like, the gobs went right to where that bar barrel was going to grab him, but, you know, Ruben still got one step ahead of Tommy and made the right play. Dip, are you still there?
Oh yeah, yeah. Honestly, really well played from Ruben. Ruben played that, I would say, perfectly. Like that's what you'd expect from Ruben at the end of the day. That's just Ruben being Ruben.
That's a good way to put it. Ruben being Ruben, and let's go ahead and take a look at those final stats, courtesy of our friends at Stats Royale. And you saw as soon as that second Lava Hound came down right-hand side, it was Ruben just loading up left-hand lane, getting the tower trade, not playing too passively, and taking care of business. So Ruben able to make this last one pretty easy. A 4-0 sweep from Team Queso, looking good, getting ready for this 2020 season. And there you go. Let's go ahead and queue up your roster. Your winning team for the day, Team Queso, coming out on top overall. Brilliantly played. Guys, thanks to everyone for joining. Thanks for Clash Royale Esports for supporting this. Thanks to CWA for adding $100 to the prize pool for this full $200 prize pool that will be going to Team Queso, that they can go to buy all the cheese that they want. Of course, Trainer Dippets, thank you very much for joining as well. Your commentary always appreciated. And big applause for Try the Coach, who you guys don't see there on the stream, but who's been our admin running all the games, making sure it goes smoothly, and he ran an unbelievably smooth bracket today, so very, very well played to Try the Coach. I'll give him a little shout-out on Twitter later. Thank you very much. Guys, I just linked my YouTube subscribe link in the chat one more time. Of course, there's my Twitter as well. Go ahead and tell me what you liked on Twitter. Don't tell me what you don't like. I don't need to hear that. I don't care. And give me a subscribe if you like, and come back for more things like this. We're going to have more live esports events on this channel as we're all hunkered down here during this little time off that everyone's taken here to stay healthy. And of course, there are other fun things on the YouTube channel as well. George, anything you want to say before we sign off for the day?
Well, just thanks for having me, and I hope you host more of these. I'll be glad to help.
For sure, will do. Thanks again. I'm Rich Slaton. Congrats one more time to Team Queso, and I will see you guys next time that we go ahead and do one of these. Let's go ahead and give one more shout out to Team Queso. and I will see you guys back here very soon. Thanks again. It has been an absolute blast hanging out with each and every one of you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.